Welcome into Gaming with Derek, episode 4. Joining me today is a longtime CrossFit coach for Tia Clair Toomey and husband of Tia Clair Toomey. That is Shane Orr joining me today on Gaming with Derek. Shane, how are you doing today, sir?
Very well, Derek. Very well. We're actually in the thick of it right now with training for the games, which is what's that? Maybe 5 weeks from this point. So, in the thick of it, to say the least.
Yeah, no doubt. 5 weeks away. Uh, Obviously the point of this show is to play games or play video games, and I'd originally reached out to you. I don't even know if you remember. It was about 2 years ago at the Granite
Mhm.
Games was the first time I ran into you, and I knew that you were a gamer because of one of the vlogs that you and Tia put out on your YouTube channel where you were playing Call of Duty. We're not going to do that today. We're going to do a little bit of trivia, but I just wanted I want to talk about how you got into gaming and kind of where that background uh, comes into play.
Okay, full disclaimer. I don't know what the definition of a gamer is. I pick up a controller and I play from time to time. I'm not saying that I'm good by any means, but yeah, I do like to dabble in consoles for sure. So, funny enough, I found this pretty early on. Obviously, it's growing up playing the old Pokemon and doing all that good stuff. Well, sorry, that stuff what was not desired by parents back then for sure. But the biggest part was more on the fitness space, introducing more of an escape for myself. It allowed me sort of to just forget everything and be present and do something just for the mind to tick over and sort of encourage myself to forget. It's been a big useful tool for myself, especially leading into the many seasons of CrossFit games for sure. And also lets me connect with friends back home in Australia. So what we would do is, because of the time zone as well, normally I'd jump on later in the evening and I'd just jump on the sticks for a couple hours, play with them. And then I'd find myself having that enough time to escape, catch up with friends, and create a lifestyle out of it.
That's usually how I feel like that's how it usually starts for a lot of people. You want to be able to play with friends and kind of bond in that manner. But would you say that in your experience of playing Call of Duty that you would consider yourself fairly decent at the game, or do you just hop in and die immediately?
Well, I used to like the strategy. Again, I don't know how many people play Call of Duty on this, but I used to go with the run and gun strategy. I couldn't sit still and just camp or just snipe in the corner or rely on that ability. I had to run around to keep active and keep moving. What was a good one? Was it Modern Warfare 2? Was that like the revolutionary sort of
Yeah,
Call of Duty,
yeah,
would you say?
yeah. That seems to be the one that everybody
Yeah.
picks as their favorite.
Yeah. So that one was a real introduction for myself anyway. And that was fun. I think like my uh what is it? Your kill death ratio. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Kill
yeah.
death ratio. I was above three. I was above three for sure. But I think it was the lobby as well, right? Like I think uh fortunately enough, I had a good lobby
Your
many
K-
times.
your KD was above 3, so you're selling yourself short. You were actually pretty damn good at the game.
But no, but then you start playing this new revolutionary of what is it? The mass drop in.
Warzone, Warzone.
Warzone, it doesn't convert over. If the running gun strategy does not work. So if you've never played and you've got a running gun strategy, do not try that in Warzone.
Yeah, my kill death ratio, my KD is under 1. It's like 0.86 or something like that.
But is that in Warzone?
In Warzone, yeah.
That's impressive. That's substantial. Honestly, I've resetted my account and everything, thinking, you know what, this is where I can do it up. Um, and I still don't think I've broken zero point 0.6. So you're phenomenal. I don't think I should waste your time.
Well, I appreciate that. So, we were discussing what we were gonna do for a game outside of gaming, since you're pretty busy these days, and we've decided on doing this. We're gonna go and test your knowledge on the first year that Clair Toomey won the games, 2017.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're gonna see if you know the individual women's event winners.
So
And you
wait,
think
did you create this?
no, no,
I
no,
need it.
I did not create
This is
this.
okay. This looks impressive, by the way.
So I was saying that we were probably going to go back and forth between this and questions, but it looks like we're actually going to
Yep.
have to do this right away because we have a 4 minute timer. So you're going to have 4 minutes to try to figure out who won each event. And I mean, you should know which events Tia won, right?
Truthfully, I know one of them for sure.
All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to
Okay.
hit play on this. And I believe it's going to be up to me to type successfully everybody's names in correctly without any misspelling. So it takes it. Um, and I believe that we should be able to guess these in any order. We don't have to necessarily go in order, but we can also attempt to do that if you want. So,
Okay. That was 2017. Okay.
all right, here we go. All right, so we are going to
Okay.
start with the first one. So, who
Yeah.
won? It is actually in order. Who won Run, Swim, Run?
Tia. Will it give me the answer correctly? No, not yet.
It
Okay.
will. If I let's see, there we go. Yeah, correct. Cyclocross.
Okay. Kristen Holty.
See, this is where I have to spell correctly.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
Correct.
especially, yep.
Amanda
Amanda
45.
45. Oh boy. You know what they say? When in doubt, pick Tia.
Pick Tia. We can also pass if you need to.
Oh,
It
okay.
was
I like that.
it was not Tia.
Dang it.
We can come back to it.
Jamie Green. Okay,
Jamie.
sorry.
It was Jamie Green. Sprint
Yep.
O course. Who won that?
Fari Helgadottir. I think I'm just testing your spelling more than I know the answer.
Oh, I hate you. Did not. It
That's
did not.
impressive.
I did spell it correctly, but did not come
Okay.
up with it.
Caroline Prevost. Prevost. Sorry.
Don't think so.
Okay. Skip. Next.
Yep.
Next. I've got no time
All right.
for this.
1 rep snatch.
1 arm snatch. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm gonna say Tia. Tia Clair Toomey, if in doubt.
That's a negative.
Oh boy. I've got a name, but I'm just not good with the names, so skip.
All right, I'm gonna throw out a guess. It wouldn't have been Kara, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know if it was Saunders or Webb then.
It wasn't. Yeah, I know. We'll try. It should be Saunders there, but we'll try.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
Just didn't. Yep. Okay. Triple. What is this? The
Triple G chipper.
Oh my boy! I don't even know the workout. Skip. I think I remember working. Dang it.
Assault banger.
Amanda Barnard. Was she even? Yeah, she was there.
She was there. Oh God. Oh God. That's a no.
Skip.
Strongman's fear.
Sam Briggs. I didn't even know what strongman fear. Oh, strongman. No, that was not Sam Briggs. That was the banger.
We can go back and put. We can go back in for assault banger and put Samantha in.
Sam Briggs. You need more than 4 minutes.
Okay. Muscle up clean ladder. We got 1:10 left.
Tia Clair Toomey. I don't even know if that's true or not.
Hey, heavy 17.5.
Oh, how'd you do that? Okay.
I copied her name and pasted it.
Tia Clair Toomey.
That's a no. Heavy 17.5.
Moving on.
Madison triplet.
I don't even know what that is. Tia Clair Toomey. You see where I'm going?
I do. Skip. We'll skip 2, 2, 2, 3 intervals.
Annie Thor's daughter. No.
No, or I spelled it wrong.
Okay.
I don't think I did.
Okay. Oh, copy that one because you need it for the last one. Skip and Annie.
Wait, for Fibonacci final?
Yeah.
Annie?
Yeah. Please.
No, because I
Dang
no.
it. I'm
Keep in
gonna
mind, I could have spelled these
say.
wrong. 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well.
This was your girl, wasn't it? Wasn't it Kara? No,
No,
Sue.
Sarah. Okay.
Okay, so the ones you
Cara
missed,
Webb.
sprint O course was Tennille Reed Burline.
Oh wow. Nice.
Triple G Chipper was Kara Webb. Strongman Sphere was Katrin. Heavy
Uh-huh.
17.5 was Kara Webb or Kara Saunders now. Madison Triplet,
Yep.
Sam Briggs. 2223 intervals, Katrin. And then Fibonacci final was Sarah.
Wow.
Not bad, though. That was about what you guessed before we went on. You said about
Oh
50
really?
50 on that. And you were about
Okay.
50. Yeah. You were just under 50%. Just under
I mean, that's
50%.
wow. That's pretty cool. Did someone get nine below me?
Uh, I think this is the average. I think the average is 9.
Let's cut that out in post production.
Not bad, not bad. I actually think we are going to move on and test you on the other one too at some point.
Yeah.
So
Good.
so I'm going to pull that one up as well. Um, but one of the things I've always been curious to hear from
Yes.
you is a couple years ago, I read, when it came out, I read Tia's book, How I Became the Fittest Woman on Earth, My Story So Far. It came out obviously after she won her first games, and everybody knows like the mental, or a lot of people talk about the mental that like approach that she had from her first 2 years finishing second on the podium to switching over to winning the games in 2018. But in the book, it specifically talks about how you two met, and
Okay.
essentially saying that the only way that you guys were able to hang out was for you to be able to coach her because her parents probably wouldn't have let you talk to her any other way. So that was kind of, I don't know if you were scheming to do that or what, but I want to know what your side of the story is in terms of how you met Tia and then how you ended up getting into coaching track with her when you guys were
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah. So the book is pretty accurate in a lot of that for sure. When we first met, in order for us to exactly hang out, was that I had to uh, hold the stopwatch and take down her times and put it in her journal for her track. Um, but how we so where do you want me to go, Derek? Do you want me to start from when we first met, my
Yeah.
first time meeting her?
Yes, please.
Okay,
I
here
want
we
to know
go.
this story.
Good. Well, hopefully I'll get it right. Please don't confirm with Tia. But this is how I remember when we first met. So in a small town called Weipa, in Australia, top of Australia, in Queensland, there was a triathlon, and and as you can imagine, Tia went individual, and for those that know me, know that I went team. Obviously, I picked the easy route, and my leg was the bike leg. So I was in my transition point, waiting for my swimmer to come out of the water, and then tag me so I could obviously go on my bike ride. And so anyway, so I'm sitting there at the start line, pretty amped up and nervous at the same time as I would for a triathlon. So then what happens? You hear the bang and you know the swimmers are going for it. So how they started the workout was they just had all the individuals go, and then they had the teams go shortly after them just to give them clearance. Um, as you could imagine, Tia beat absolutely everyone out of the water, and she was the first individual person out of the water leg. And then that's where I was on my bike, and I had my helmet on, clipped up, and I was just sipping on my water, and I just saw her run out. And I'm not sure if you've seen it, Derek, but every time she exits the water, she does this whole like Baywatch thing, where she just does the slow mo. Well, in my eyes, it was the slow mo little bop to the side and trying to get the water.
Right.
outside of her ears, and she's taken off her swim cap. So this is when I first laid eyes on Tia, and I was like, damn. Uh, I was very impressed with her swimming ability. And anyway, so she gets on her bike and she has a good exit and she starts transitioning down her bike leg. Um, Moments later, just a fair few moments later, my guy comes out and he tags me. And I remember thinking of the strategy as sort of like a negative split. So, going out there conservative into the tailwind and using the second half of the race to push because they have the tailwind behind me. And how it works for the swim event was that, for the bike event was, so it was a big loop around. And I'd forgotten this, and I thought that my strategy had changed since I saw Tia. I was like, "Damn, my new strategy is I'm going to try catch up to her and then try pass her to look impressive." Um, didn't play out. I didn't see her on the bike leg, and fortunately enough, I actually had another opportunity because I had the run leg as well.
Mm.
But I do remember not following the plan and then going off script. And I remember going into the headwind going, oh boy, I'm not getting anywhere through this. So anyway, I knew that I was tapping into my reserve tank a lot. So I put the bike down and I know that there's a few runners in front of me for sure. I put that down and I know what the run leg is. So it's up and then straight back. So there's definitely a point I'm going to cross her throughout my travels.
Right.
So anyway, I start the leg, and I'm sure if you guys have done some biking and running, you know how lethargic or Bambi your legs feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to run, and I just remember thinking that throughout this run, okay, I'm going to pass her. Just look fresh and look like you're in control. Don't look like you're sucking wind hard. Anyway, so I remember trying to hold on good form, thinking about, okay, any minute now, like this is, when you start strategizing, okay, I should see this person about this distance in because whatever, you start gauging or predicting where they will be. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be any moment here. It's got to be any moment here. So I'm trying to hold this form that I'm not capable of holding any longer. And I remember, Derek, for 1 second there, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to suck some wind, roll the shoulders down and just kick stones for about 30 seconds. Then I'll come back up and I'll feel amazing. And then I'm sure I'll pass it then. Anyway, so I relaxed for a second and I'm just sort of trudging and I'm kicking stones. And I hear this out of nowhere. Keep your head up. You got this. And for that, and I just shoot my neck up straight away, looking up. And then sure enough, it's Tia. Tia's encouraging me way back then to like keep it together.
Mm.
And I just thought I blew it. I absolutely thought I blew it. She ran past. Unfortunately, she won. Yeah, good for her. But then for me, I blew it. I lost it. I lost everything that I wanted to do in that race, and that was to impress her for a moment. So anyway, that's when I first met Tia or saw Tia. She doesn't recall too much of it, but that's how it played out. So then when we fast forward a few moments of finally meeting up through friends and stuff, you're exactly right. So in order for us to hang out, we had to work together, and I sort of hold the stopwatch and go through that. But never did I think throughout that period that this would be a profession for us, or even fathom to think that it would lead us to half to the point where we are now, right? Like it's still remarkable to think that. And I think when people ask, how do you do it? Like, how do you guys do coach and husband and wife, and so to speak? For us, fortunately, it's been one of the biggest parts of our relationship, like a big pillar or a big, what do you call it? Like one of our core developments, right? We've been working together in this relationship or in this duo essentially our whole time. So it's been remarkable to reflect on that for sure. And I think it's been such a big building for us as well. Like we get to see ourselves at a vulnerable state. I see in her through her worst times, through her battles of training, and then I've seen her greatest times. So as well. But it really did start with holding the stopwatch and allowing me to just be present, to hang out with her for sure.
How do you think you guys are able to balance that separation between married life and and being her coach.
Yeah. Well, Derek, if you ask me right now through the thick of it for the games, it's I ride that fine line. I tell you, I try to make it up in other areas of doing the housework where I can. But no, but honestly, the credit goes to her. She's very very responsive and adaptive to criticism or feedback. And I know that if the roles were reversed, I don't think I could do it. So that's really commending her and her drive and passion towards what she wants to achieve. And that's and I mean that because she's yeah, I couldn't do it. I know that.
So when it comes to you, Shane, and coaching, obviously you started out coaching Tia, helping her with track back in the day, and that's kind of developed into you coaching her as a CrossFit athlete, but then turned into this whole, you now have proven fitness in Tennessee, and yet you now have this whole stable of athletes. How did that kind of develop going from, you know, kind of coaching Tia, not necessarily like full time, this is what I want to do, into turning this into basically almost an empire now at this point?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So again, it was one of those organic situations, right? There was no intent of ever opening up a programming or being open-minded, or sorry, open and allowing everyone to see that what we do. Um, and then even early on when we were in Cookville and when I worked with Fraser and Tia and Matt trained together a lot, there was a lot of that time we just spent just doing it ourselves. And it wasn't really until after the 2020 CrossFit Games, we were at a winery, and it sounds very impressive. And it's not a very often occurrence that we find ourselves at a winery. So please, I just wanted to name drop that winery. No, but we were at a winery because of the COVID CrossFit Games, if you want to call it that. We just found ourselves in an isolated area, just safe from most of the things that were happening in California. And we spent a lot of time hanging out with Brooke Wells, and she'd just been open and speaking a lot about that. And I remember talking to her, and she was looking at different avenues or paths to what she wanted to do next, right? And I was really intrigued about it. And I was to the point where it wasn't a plan right away. So for instance, I said I'd be happy to fly around, meet up with other coaches if she wanted to have that path or conversation with other people. And, I'd help her find an environment for her to train in because it wasn't on my radar at that point. And then anyway, after a lot of back and forth, speaking to some of her team and then myself, it the idea sort of just sparked it within us, going, what we could do was open up a coaching staff and then help her. And then rather than finding the right coach, we could mentor the right coaches and then give her the guidance to provide her a platform or provide her an opportunity to have essentially what she was chasing.
Yeah. And again, you end up with this stable of athletes and
Yeah.
a lot of level games athletes and athletes trying to get to that point. Real quick before we move on, I wanted to bring up, obviously last year at the games we all watched um what happened with Brooke Wells and the snatch,
Oh boy. Yeah.
and her elbow, but like getting her back to where she is now, being able to get back to the games heading into 2022. What was that process like this past year to get her back to where she is now?
Yeah. So truthfully, Derek, a lot of that, she's superseded she's far reached the expectation that we had put on her for this year. A lot of it was rebuild and obviously taken step by step. Nothing was off limits in her mind. She was adamant she was going to go back to the games. And again, from early stages, from surgery and then prehab, introducing barbell again, introducing load again. There were so many steps in such a long period of time where where we just wanted her to focus on being present and just working on the prehab exercises and doing all the tedious tasks that have been set by her doctors, set by her physios, and set by her body workers as well. And again, I commend Brooke completely for the way that she conducted herself. I've never seen such a deliberate athlete working on such a small portion of her game and allowing herself to come back physically stronger, because now the elbow gives her full range of motion and she starts to feel more confident in it, more than ever. And that's, for me, that's scary to know, because she's now believing her elbow is in a better position than when she felt her fittest last year. And she said that openly, that she felt like she was in her fittest state. So for her to say that she feels more confident in what her body can do, for me, is scary as a competitor to hear that. But the full credit goes to her. There was the whole time our coaching staff was like, Brooke, we just got to stay here, play with these percentages. This is what the doctors allowed us to do. Your body workers suggested the same. We must stay here. And then once the doctor started doing the final checkups, he said, hey, you can now open up to 80% of your 1RM to start playing on that realm. So a lot of it, Derek, was put on her, and she ran with it, and she did absolutely everything.
Yeah, it was a tough situation last year, and obviously we know that snatch is such a technical movement, and so to hurt it on that movement, and then have the confidence to finally decide to get back into the bar, and to be able to do it as quickly as she has, because it's been less than a year with semifinals and everything else going on within the season, the Open. So definitely commend her for getting back into it as quickly as she did. And she looks like the athlete she was last year, which is incredible.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get back into some more gaming here. We're gonna test your knowledge again. This is the final quiz for you. We're gonna do games female podium.
8 minutes. Okay.
Games podium finishers. Now I'll give you two options. We talked about this. We can either start from the beginning of the games in 2007, or we can just start from 17.
We could even do 16. Every year Tia's been at the game. So what's that? 2 years? 15, 16.
Yep, that'd 15? Be 15. Yep. So we can start at 15 if you want to do that. And then
yes, I feel good about that once I remember them years.
All right, let's do that. All right, here we go. We have 8 minutes on the clock, and we're starting in 2015. And how about we just put Tia in right now?
Yeah.
And there you go.
Okay. So Katrin won 2015.
Okay. See, it's gonna ask me to put the whole thing in.
So you can copy and paste there. We can put her in 2016 as well.
Yeah. If I could spell her name right now.
That's a trap. I wish it'd just be first names. You know?
No way. Did I spell it wrong? Look at that.
Oh, it's a little blurry on my pixelated screen because of my.
Okay, we'll just know that we put Katrin in.
Katrin.
And I will Google her spelling really quickly while we do it.
Yep.
Continue.
And the third place winner was Sarah Sigmund's daughter for both years. I know, sorry.
Okay, that one's in.
Nice.
Katrin I spelled right. I don't know why her name's not going in.
She did win it.
I don't know why it's not taking it. This is annoying. Okay. All right, we'll keep moving.
Okay, and then now, 2017.
Yep.
Cara Saunders or Cara Webb?
We'll try Webb first. Yep.
Webb.
There you go.
Okay. And then third place, Jamie Green.
Okay. Nope, that is wrong. She got third place in 2019.
That's what. Oh, sorry, 2017. Sorry, Derek. I thought it was 2019. No, I'm kidding. Katrin.
We'll just again. We'll just assume. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm definitely.
Is it because you got apostrophe somewhere? I don't know.
No, because it worked with Sarah, so I don't know why it wouldn't work. Yeah, it's not taking her name for some reason.
Okay, we'll find out. Okay, 2018 second place is Laura for her. Or
Yep.
for that.
So she
Okay.
I think it was in for 2021 as well.
Okay. What year is that?
2018,
2018
third
third
place.
place. Oh boy. Annie.
Oh, killing me.
I know these.
Oh, that was my fault. I did spell her name wrong. There we go. Annie's it.
Oh,
That is correct.
so I got that. Okay, cool. That was
Oh,
half a
she got
blitz.
third place in 2017, not 2018. 2018, you're
Huh.
still missing that.
Oops. That's Katrin.
Okay. Which
Okay.
is not taking.
Okay. And then we got
20,
2019
2019, second place. Yep.
2019 second place. Kristen Holty. I don't know if you just saw my eyes pan over to Tia to give
That
me the
is
confirmation.
that is
She did nod.
correct.
2020 is okay. Really, I've got 5 athletes to select from here. Katrin, we don't. It's hard. It's MIA, and then Kerry Pierce,
Correct.
and I think we're done.
We are done. So I'm gonna hit
Am
skip
I
and
right?
no,
Yeah.
you've got them all. You've got them all. We're assuming, yeah, 2018, 2020 was Katrin 20, and then she obviously went back to back in 2015 and 2016. So
Yep. So let's just so we know, sub 4. If you're out there and you're watching this, see if you can get your friend to do sub 4 from 2015 onwards. Challenge. Good luck.
they entered it with her middle name in there too. I would never put Katrin Tanya David's daughter.
It's interesting.
So, but good job on
There we
that
go.
one. That 100% with a little assist from Tia, from what I hear.
Yeah, I got the nod. Yeah, I got the nod. Like, yep, you're on the right path.
Cool. What I wanted to know, you said, or Tia has said in the past,
Okay.
that you are her secret weapon.
Oof.
I know you're very humble and don't like to take credit for a lot of things, but would you agree with that statement from Tia that you are her secret weapon?
No, I don't agree.
Why and why not?
um, I feel that she's done all the work that she needs, and she's prepared, right? So I think prepared is a big word that I'd like to use in this situation here. She's prepared. She has the skills. She has the confidence. She's been tested with myself at the training environment, the training camp with the athletes. She knows what to do.
What do you think? Um, I have two questions. What do you love most about what you're doing, whether it's with Tia or with Proven, or
Mhm.
just developing um, this whole fitness community in Tennessee?
Yeah, I think there's a few main aspects that I enjoy, especially with Tia and I. The ability to travel the world, right, and to do it together. I think, especially through the COVID period, it it really allowed us to see how important that was, right? Like, I think if, especially, and I've said it before as well, Derek, like, especially you marry your best friend and you want to travel the world with them, and especially if it's a profession, that's just a bonus as well. So essentially, like, a lot of these work trips that we go on, we get to see places around the world that we never fathomed or never thought that we would, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's really special to share that, and we get to do that together. I really am thankful for that. And then on the other front as well, with what I love about working with athletes, I just love, and I think we played a lot with CrossFit as well, but the journey for me is certainly different with each athlete, and working out what that looks like for each of them as well. There are different periods of their career I look at it from like right now we have like obviously Tia, many years, very very good at this thing called CrossFit. We have Sydney Wells, right, a new up and coming athlete, and what I've found a lot of fulfillment and joy out of because she's so raw and her eyes are wide open about I just want to do this every day for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
And then we have people like Will Morad, a veteran in the sport, very conscious of what his body's capable of. And then there's those, and I'm sure he'd admit it as well, there's a few things that he just wants to make sure that he doesn't overexpose himself for the risk of injury. So there's all these spectrums that you're conscious of, which is fulfilling because you want to make sure that you provide them the best opportunity to succeed in the sport. And it's always different for each of them, you know, and I don't think it's any different from coaching an affiliate. I think that that sheer enjoyment when someone comes in not knowing what CrossFit is, and then they come in there and you don't sell them the methodology, you just sell them the passion that you want to see them get better. And I don't think that evolves or changes when you're working with elite athletes. You're still trying to create passion and enjoyment for them, but you're just molding it so that it fits them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. And obviously you're not alone in this whole thing, but when you look at, all the different athletes that you guys deal with, how do you kind of balance the needs of all the different individuals? Because as you mentioned,
Yeah.
everyone's at different levels or different parts in their careers in terms of what they want to accomplish, and not even just at the elite level, the everyday CrossFitter as well. How do you personally balance that out with everyone?
Yeah. So particularly, and I'll just explain more about our training camp, what we have here in Nashville, at CrossFit East Nashville. A lot of our training, we start at the same time. And I'm just going to say on average. So right now, the guys are averaging 8 or 9 pieces a day. And that's including warm up, right? So out of the 8 or 9 pieces we do each day for the games, 4 or 5 of them would be very similar or identical, meaning the conditioning piece, meaning the strength progressions in some aspects would be the same. Some pieces that would change from individual would be areas at which they need to improve on, areas where they need more exposure in, and then especially with new athletes that haven't been to the games, just allowing them to do odd object things or spending more time outside the gym. So it's creating that, and then also not allowing it to be a competitive environment for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Right, a lot of it is actually managing or creating tasks or workouts that remove this comparison of, oh, I beat such and such by 3 minutes, or I beat this person by 1 second. I feel good about myself, and this person should naturally feel terrible because they're competitors. It's just changing that format and allowing it to be in an environment where we lift each other up and that we push each other. And I think that's been um, something that we've learned in team sports, right? Where you just want to allow the environment to be an uplifting and an encouraging environment. And that requires a lot of work as well throughout it, because you need to remind them, hey, we're all on different paths. And there are going to be workouts which will humble you. And that's great because you want to be tested. You want to know what that feels like in a training environment. You don't want that feeling when you go to the games and you get exposed. So um, it'll my biggest thing, and I think I just mentioned it earlier, I just want these athletes to feel prepared and better fit and better know themselves prior to the year prior. So, for instance, with Tia particularly, my objective for her and her objective for herself is to beat the previous version of herself, and it's almost like that be better than yesterday motto. As long as we're striving for that, we're on the right path.
Well, you guys seem to be on the right path down at CrossFit East Nashville and Proven Fitness and everything that you guys are doing. And obviously, Tia going for his sixth straight games title, which I don't know if when this whole thing started, you ever thought that this would be the path that you guys would go on. But it's amazing what you guys are doing over there.
Thanks, Derek. Honestly, like the first year Tia went to the games, we talk about her growth development as well. And I feel like my trajectory's been the same path, right? Like when she started developing her skills and confidence, I found the same sort of path for myself. But the original games that we spent there, I just remember some of the dialogue or the verbiage that I was telling her. And even she was reinforcing for me. It was like, I just don't want to come last, is what she would say. And I'm like, yeah, we don't want last. That's just go do it. Don't come last. And that was some of the words that I would say to her back then. And then when she came second in the first CrossFit Games appearance, we were blown away. And then Tia didn't even know back then that you had prize money. So when she found out there was a $90,000 check or whatever it was, sorry, I apologize. I wish it was. Or maybe it is. But anyway, $90,000 check and 80. Sorry, she just told me $80,000 check back then. We just remember going, okay, we got to go to Vegas. This will be fun. And but the reality is you don't get that check for another 3 months, so it doesn't clear. It doesn't take that. It's not that quick. So don't book a Vegas trip after the games. But it's amazing, Derek. Honestly, like never did we imagine when we started this together, right? The first objective for us was, after Tia's first experience at the games, was that we wanted to do it together. And that's what she constantly reminded me. Like, we want to do it together. We want to stand on top of the podium together. And that was it. That wasn't created in the first year of the games experience. That evolved, that evolution of just changing or moving the goalposts, so to speak, has always been what's constantly allowed us to sort of just not project or think 5 years ahead, just be present, just make small goals daily, make better choices, habits, and then it leads to the big stuff by the end of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Finally, the first time we met was the Granite Games 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember, but I remember specifically because the first time we saw each other was in the elevator at the Granite Games, and I just happened to be wearing her shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You looked down, looked up at me, and was like, "Nice shoes." Does that get old? Like, seeing people wearing her shoes or her jersey or like things like that. Is that something that still like blows your mind?
It does, yeah, for sure. I think that any supporter out there that obviously wears merch or cheers out her name, or even any of our athletes for that matter, I think is huge. Maybe because I'm on the other side of the fence and I see the work that they put in on a daily basis, the sweat, the tears, the blood, literally, sometimes with the hand grips. But I think it just reinforces or reminds me that, hey, they're on the right path. People are noticing, and it's encouraging as well. Like, even if it's motivation for 5 minutes, it allows that athlete just to feel a boost of confidence for 5 minutes. Great. We'll just get to the next person that wears the shoes, or the next person wears the shirt. It just allows them to know, hey, I'm doing something great. People are noticing me. And not that they do it for that, but for me, at least, it's sort of a motivation for them to see, hey, you're on the right path. People are noticing the work that you're not doing in front of their eyes. And for me, that's really cool. And it's surreal, right? Like, again, coming back to when we first started, never did we think we'd be in this position where people would know our names, or particularly me. I've never thought that I'd be on a podcast with you, Derek, as well, to speak about CrossFit or my journey. So it is really cool.
Yeah.
Imagine playing gaming right now and you asking me these questions. I don't think my kill death ratio would be that impressive.
So here's the beauty of it. That's my way of distracting the guests that I have on. Is especially like if we were like, let's say we were playing Madden or like something, we were going against each other.
Oh,
I would definitely use that as a strategy to distract people.
Oh, okay.
So
that is a good one.
I got one quick one, and this is just joking.
Yep.
Tia Clair Toomey or Tia Clair Toomey, or do you feel like there's a lack of respect without putting the "or" on the back end of her name? How do you feel about that?
Man, I said, yeah, I know. I wish we're on loudspeaker. I agree. I think no. I agree with you. But no, it makes the most sense, right? We don't want to confuse everyone and keep everything in check as well. And in fact, if she ever wants to fall off the face of the earth, she can just remove the Toomey and put the ore there, and we can disappear.
Well, Shane, I appreciate you doing this with me. This was great. I'm glad to have you on.
Derek, I appreciate you as well, mate. Thanks for making the time.